Hi everybody, I'm Chef Susie with LearnToCook.com. Today I'm going to be making apple fritter, which is a classic southern dessert, very popular, very well known. It's just a batter that's made with eggs and milk and flour and with cinnamon too, and some buttermilk to give it that classic southern flavor. And then we're going to deep fry the little fritters. We're just going to spoon them into some oil. So knowing that, let's get started. First, we're going to sift our flour and our sugar and our baking powder and our cinnamon. And the baking powder is the leavener in this recipe. And by leavener, I mean what's going to make the dough rise. Some doughs have just eggs in them. Some doughs have baking powder. Some have baking soda. And some have yeast, too. So in this case, it's baking powder. So now that we have our dry ingredients sifted, we're going to go ahead and add our wet ingredients. We've got our vanilla, which I'm going to just add to our buttermilk, and then just 1 egg. And once I have all of this incorporated, I'm going to just fold in my apples, which I have diced very small on the side. And like I said, this is a classic southern dessert, very popular in the South, if you're in the South. I'm sure you've seen it many times. And it's not a very loose batter. It's going to have to hold its shape a little bit when we're putting it into the oil. So knowing that, I'm just about incorporated, now I'm just going to go ahead and add my apples, which I have quite a bit of apple, so it's going to have a great apple flavor. And once we deep fry these, we're going to be rolling them in powdered sugar before we eat them. So it's just a finishing touch to make it nice and sweet and to make them look very nice. So this is a simple batter and you can mix it by hand like I'm doing. It's very easy to do. So our batter's ready, so we're ready to go over to the deep fryer to start frying up our fritters. Now that we've made our apple fritter mix and our oil is warmed to 370 degrees, I have my thermometer in the oil so I can keep an eye on it because I've made a little deep fryer on the stove here. Just some vegetable or canola oil, and I have about 1.5 inches deep. That's going to allow my fritters to float around, and then I'm going to be turning them as they cook. I like to use one of these little ice cream dishers to make my fritters, or you can just drop them by spoonful and just use a tablespoon and then use a teaspoon to get the batter off your tablespoon. Be mindful the oil is really hot and you don't want to drop the fritter very high. You want to get a little close to the oil and just be careful. Watch your hands. You don't want to burn yourself. Take your time because safety is always first and foremost. So I'm just going to be dropping my fritter batter into my oil with my scoop, with my disher, and it's nice because I can release it with the handle. And I'm getting close to the oil. And only put in as many as you can handle. If you just need to do 2 or 3 at a time, that's fine. I'm going to get a couple in here because I've done this before and I'm pretty familiar with it. But like I said, just do what you can handle. And then we're going to kind of bob them around a little bit until they turn a little golden brown. They're kind of turning on their own. They'll do that, or you can help them out. And they're just going to fry for a few minutes until they get a little bit of a golden brown. They bake a little fast, well they cook a little fast in the oil. And you can use a slotted spoon or you can use a deep fry strainer, a little hand one. These are nice to have too, but a slotted spoon works just as well. If you feel like they're a little light on your first side, go ahead and turn them back over. And you're going to pull them out of the oil and you're going to put them right on a paper towel. And this is going to help drain off the oil before we go ahead and toss them in our powdered sugar. So they puffed up nicely and they have a nice round shape with the disher. But if you use just 2 spoons, that's fine too. It's just one of these classic rustic looking desserts that you'll see in the South. So we're going to roll them around a little bit on our paper towel and let them drain nicely. Then we're just going to pop them in our bowl full of powdered sugar. You can also use a paper bag if you have one and put your powdered sugar in there and just shake them around. So we're going to do the same thing with the bowl. We're just going to be shaking them around and covering them completely. Might have to get in here and kind of roll them by hand a little bit. But the powdered sugar is the best part, so I wouldn't miss that. Then we're just going to take any dish or basket that we have and go ahead and present them in there. And like I said, this is just a nice southern favorite. You're going to want to serve these warm. If they cool off and you eat them, that's fine. But if you're having company over, try to serve them warm if you can. So these are our apple fritters, and thanks for joining me today. Bon appetit.
Well, thanks for joining us today at learntocook.com. Be sure to comment and to subscribe. Also visit us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a great day, and thank you.